You want to know a secret, Jack? Something I've known a long, long time?
Finally, we've got some major answers in what became my favorite episode of the series. The island is a cork, keeping evil bottled. Great metaphor. So the timeline where the island is sunk is like the cork fell into the bottle. But Smokey will surprise us. He doesn't mean to sink the cork. He'll break the bottle altogether. The importance of Ilana's flashback is Jacob's mention that
they're the remaining candidates.
Why are these the last ones? Is there a deadline to Jacob's role? Why can't he keep bringing more and more people? Maybe the answer to that is a big reveal. So we finally know where Richard came from, how the Black Rock ended up in mid-jungle, what broke the statue, and how Richard got his gift. As I suggested before, Jacob brings people, and Men in Black makes it hard on them by creating external and internal storms in their lives. During this episode, I've also had a shocking reveal at home. Rose is actually a Bernard.
¿Y qué? Esa perra Madison juega Vicente.
Whatever. This episode has played with religious metaphors as it plays with Egyptian symbols, but I still feel Jacob and Men in Black are not to be trusted equally. I believe Jacob is serious about bottling up evil, but I still don't buy into the candidate storyline because none of our losties can be a Jacob. Unless we're not looking for someone pure. The only one who can match evil is someone who has known evil intimately but overcame it within himself. That would make Sawyer the best candidate to keep Smokey at bay, and maybe that's why Smokey came to recruit him first, and the blonde boy appeared while he was with Sawyer and not with anyone else. Although Smokey lied and manipulated Richard by appearing as his wife and telling him it's hell and Jacob's the devil, I sensed some truth when he said,
"The devil betrayed me. He took my body, my humanity."
I think Jacob trapped Smokey into his role, but he might not be the devil himself. When we didn't know what Smokey was, we got many hints that he was Cerberus, a three-headed monster watching over hell. Smokey could be just the security system, not evil itself. Evil will unleash if the balance of power is disrupted, if Smokey quits his job. It seems the Dharma understood the stakes by building the swan and the orchid to keep some energies at bay, as if the real evil lies beneath the cork and doesn't just roam on the island. I'm going for the fact Men in Black and Jacob were both very human and possibly got an ancient family connection with the Shepherds or the Hanzos. And maybe Jacob did sacrifice his friend and betray him when he was first recruited. If we get to see his flashback, we might see he wasn't the first Jacob, and maybe Adam and Eve are the ones who tricked these two into starting the game. I could say so much about this episode and do like 3 podcasts showing how past seasons don't make sense in light of what we just got. But maybe it's better to be patient for a few more episodes. We see the others, Ben and Richard, do many things in the name of Jacob that are pure bad or senseless, and we'll either find out that it's essential to do bad in order to stop bad, like fighting fire with fire, or maybe the others started following Men in Black long ago without being aware of that. They got messages from the cabin, but not from Jacob. That loophole might have been found long ago. After all, some of the things Ben and Richard said and done are so Smokey-like.
I find out what he's emotionally invested in, and I exploit it.
However, I decided to follow only just one thread now, one that makes sense. If we combine religious symbolism with the real humans theory, Lost might go down the road of gothic horror movies in which one child is born as the Antichrist and he must be exiled or hell will break loose. Was Men in Black that child that, like Napoleon, got to keep his power on the island but cannot exert it in the world? This could explain the importance of Aaron and Walt too, and the notion in which John Locke was tested as special. What if these tests, in the same way they predict the next Dalai Lama, predict the reincarnation of the next Antichrist, and he's got to be found and brought to the island? Notice that everyone brought to the island is far from being a pure soul. This theory also explains what Malkin saw. The horrible potential of Aaron being the Antichrist. And when he realized Claire will not be able to stop it, he arranged for her to get to the one place where it could be contained, the island. This explains why Men in Black arranged for their separation, so Aaron will be saved and put back in the world. He also might be responsible for Kate's dream, making sure Aaron is never returned.
Don't you dare bring him back.
This also makes sense of why the others were so anxious to protect Claire's baby from the dark disease. Finally, Richard's resolution scene suggests another metaphor to the way the timelines will connect, possibly. Richard couldn't see Isabella and needed Hurley, who can see both worlds, to mediate. But when he closed his eyes and connected to the love he felt for his wife, it renewed his faith, and he was able to feel her presence and even hear her without Hurley's translation. The way he looks at her and can't see her is like a clogged mirror separates between them, and the mirror is broken with the power of love. Ultimately, for me, Lost isn't about right and wrong, but about love.
You and I can talk all day long about what's right or wrong, but the question before you remains the same. Do you ever want to see your wife again?
It isn't about listening to the good nor the bad, but about listening to your heart. Will love be the force connecting the timelines, and will Hurley be the one who sees both dimensions and mediates? Hey, what are you doing with this? Are you trying to open the gates of hell? What's your real name anyway?
Wallace.